Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Sir, welcome. You say Iowa got it right. Walk us through your reaction to the caucus results.
Well, it was a terrific night for Donald Trump, and I think it ends any of the speculation that voters don't want Donald Trump to be the nominee. Clearly they do. He won all 99 counties. It was a slam dunk. He exceeded the expectations. If he'd have been under 50%, which still would have been the largest margin in the history of the caucuses since 1988 and Bob Dole, the press would still have said, well, he underperformed. Well, he didn't underperform last night. He did great. By the way, let me mention that in addition to Chuck Norris over there just off my left shoulder, you might have noticed a future governor of Arkansas standing right next to Chuck.
I thought I saw her.
Yes.
There's your daughter.
Yes.
Yep, there she is, peeking over there. I see her.
You know, it's fascinating to look back on all of this, and in part because McCain won New Hampshire for sure. We went on to win most of the states on Super Tuesday.
Right.
But one of the things that every candidate faces, and they'll face it after last night, is two things will happen if you don't win the way the press says you need to. One, your donors dry up, and two, the press ignores you. And then, no matter how well you're doing and what traction you may be getting, your race is over. And so the challenge for both Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, can they overcome that narrative? If they don't just do explicitly well in New Hampshire and then go on to either win one of those cases of New Hampshire or South Carolina, I'm convinced the media will probably say about them.
Yes.
They can't win, and once that happens, their donors dry up, and it's over.
Governor, 60 seconds, two questions. I'm wondering what you make of the split narrative this morning from the rest of the media. Part of the narrative is that, well, you know, the weather impacted turnout. We only saw 110,000 caucus last night in Iowa. The other part that I'd like to get your take on is Ron DeSantis lost by 30 points. He did finish in second place, but he delivered this Bill Clinton comeback kid-esque speech last night. Does that have an impact for him in New Hampshire in a good way?
I don't think so, because he put all of his money on the table for Iowa. I mean, he spent most of his money there. He spent all his time there. He really focused on winning Iowa and essentially predicted that he would. It's like Babe Ruth pointing the bat over in left field and saying, that's where I'm going to hit it.
Yeah, striking
and then
out.
bunting the ball.
Right.
So I just think that it was a terrible underperformance. And to quote the Bible, the rain falls on the just and the unjust. So the snow and the bad weather hit everybody. It didn't just affect DeSantis voters, Donald Trump's voters, many of whom are older. They still came out. So I just don't buy that argument that the weather affected the outcome. I think the outcome was determined by the intensity of support for Donald Trump that we continue to see across the country.
Okay. Governor Mike Huckabee, great seeing you this morning. Great seeing you in 2008. Great covering this with you last night as well. We appreciate it. Thank you.